Hello friends, today we will discuss about Grande-Dixon's Dam. In this image we can see the downriver view of the dam. Grande-Dixon's Dam is a typical gravity dam. It is essentially a triangular body with an extremely broad base which gets narrower toward the top. Its own weight is about 15 million tons, which is enough to resist the water pressure. Let's talk about geographic information of Grande-Dixon's Dam. Grande-Dixon's Dam located in Switzerland in the canton of Valais on the Dixens River. It supplies water to Rhone Valley. It holds back Lac de Dix lake behind it. The area of the lake is about 3.65 km square and it holds back 3,24,285 acre feet volume of water, up to depth 284 meter of water. The catchment area behind the dam is 46.3 km square. Physical information of Grande-Dixon's Dam. Grande-Dixon's Dam is 5th tallest dam in the world and highest gravity dam in the world. Its height is 285 meters. It is about 695 meter long and the width at the base is 200 meter, which is sloping to only 15 meter wide at the top. Weight of Grande-Dixon's Dam is 15 million metric tons, which is enough to resist water pressure. Grout curtains extend 200 meter deep and 100 meter outward in the each direction. So let's talk about the objectives of this dam, why this dam is constructed and what is the purpose of this dam. This dam is built to produce hydropower. Grande-Dixons represent 1/5 of storable energy produced in Switzerland. Dam strives to optimize water levels so there is maximum availability before heavy demand periods, maximum profit by calculating the cost of pumping water in summer and income by generating energy during winter. Grande-Dixon's Dam now serves as recreation area and also tourism around the dam is quite popular. Construction of Grande-Dixon's Dam. First Dixon's Dam was built in 1929. Construction on the new dam started in 1950. As you can see here, it is old dam and it is new dam. The old dam is Archtime Dam, which is failed, and after the failure of old dam the new dam is constructed, which is known as Grande-Dixon's Dam. New dam submerge the old dam, but when the water level are low the old dam can still be seen. 60 lakh meter cube of concrete is used at the time of construction of Grande-Dixon's Dam. It takes 10 years to complete the construction. Major issue at the time of construction of Grande-Dixon Dam to how to enlarge current Lac de Dix lake and how to bring water from neighboring valley. 100 km of tunnel constructed to bring water to from Lac de Dix lake 75 intakes. 4 pumping station is constructed to pump the water from lake, which is Zenmuth, Stoffel, Furpak, Ahola. At the time of Grande-Dixon's Dam construction, there are 2 large accidents occur, which is roof section on the Shillon tunnel is collapsed. Avalanche swept away 3 inspectors. At the time of construction of dam, the environment is so challenging. The dam is originally provide water to 3 power stations, which is Finney, Nandos and Chandolin. Now let's talk about pumping stations of Grande-Dixon's Dam. First of all, we are talking about Zenmuth pumping station. It feeds by water from Bis, Garner, and Schley glaciers. In this pumping station, 4 pumps pump up to 14 crore meter cube of water per year. It starts pumping at the elevation of 1972 meters and pump to Trift Tunnel at the elevation of 2400 meters, located almost entirely underground. Now let's talk about Staffill pumping station. It is located at the base of Matterhorn. It feeds water from Zermatt, Mischabel, Finalen, Upper Theodule and Fjerg. Glaciers. It pumps 10 crore meter cube of water per year. It starts pumping from elevation 2180 meters and pump up to 250 meters height. Let's talk about power stations of Grande Dixon Dam. First of all, we are discuss Finnoy Power Station. It consists underground pressurized tunnel 9 km long, bring water from Lac de Dix Lake. The average slope of the tunnel is 10%. Penstock of this power station is descends 800 meter with a slope of 73%. Capacity of this power station is 290 megawatt, located at the elevation of 1490 meters. Now let's talk about Nandos Power Station. In this power station, water comes from Finnoy Power Station via 16 km long pressure tunnel. Surge chamber is 1000 meter above the power station. It is second largest hydroelectric power station in Switzerland. Its capacity is 390 megawatt. Next power station is Buedren Power Station. It is constructed between 1993 and 1998. It holds 3 world records. Height of its head is 1883 meters. Output of each turbine is 423 megawatt per turbine. Output per pole of generator is 35.6 megavolt ampere. Capacity of this power station is 1269 megawatt. In December 2000, the penstock rupture is killing 3 people. Reconstruction began in 2005 and should be recommissioned in 2010. Chandolin Power Station. Its capacity is 150 megawatt. Let's discuss the locations of installation, which is pumping station and power station. As you can see here, the pumping stations are located. Zermatt and other stations which are located here. And power stations are located here. In case of Grand Dixon Dam, pumping stations are very important because Grand Dixon Dam has no spillway. In that case, when the water goes above the height of dam, the level of water is decreased by the pumping station. Pumping stations pump the water from lake and maintain the water level behind the dam. In this figure, elevation of installations are located. As we can see in previous slide, the power station and pumping stations are located. Similarly, power station and pumping stations are located here in elevated view. As you can see, it is the elevation of all the stations and which are located here. These are pumping stations. As you can see, these all are pumping stations, and all of these are power stations, as you can see here. Now let's talk about dam operations. Dam collects water from 35 galleries. Water pumped into Lac de Dix by 4 pump stations. Water pumped to full storage during the summer as glacier melt, then drains out water during winter. Power generated by 3 power stations. benefits the shareholders, and water then return to the Rhone River. When water level gets lower, then at that time we can see old dam and new dam. Old dam is also known as lower dam and new dam is also known as upper dam. Now let's talk about interesting facts of Grande-Dixon's Dam. The Grande-Dixon's Dam's older, smaller predecessor is normally submerged in the lake, but the old dam occasionally become visible during times of low water. The Grande-Dixon's Dam has no spillway. If the water depth approach to the dam's top, pumping station in other valleys stop sending water to Lake Dix. Very rarely water spills over the top of the dam. Unlike some hydroelectric dams such as Hoover Dam in the United States, the Grande-Dixon's Dam has no power turbine on site. Water is sent to generating plants at lower elevation. If all the hydroelectric plants downstream were operating at full power and no water was entering the lake would be drained in about 2000 hours. Now let's talk about the forces acting on dam. So first of all we are talking about weight force. What is weight force? Weight force is the self weight of the dam, which is also known as stabilizing force or resisting force, which resists the water pressure and all the forces which turns to fail the dam. Here WC is the weight force as shown in figure. Now let's talk about hydrostatic force. Hydrostatic force is force which is acted on dam by the water. It is linearly varying force as shown in figure. It is hydrostatic force at upstream side and it is hydrostatic force at downstream side. And also weight of water which is inside this triangle also acted downward on this side of the dam. This force also acts as stabilizing force, and also vertical downward weight of water is acted on this side also, downstream side. Let's talk about uplift force on dam. Uplift force on dam is acted due to the seepage action of water. Seepage of water occur in the dam in the highlighted path which I am showing in the figure. Due to this seepage, the upward uplift force is acting on the dam, which is reduce the net effect of weight of dam, which is reduce also stabilizing force of dam. So it is very important to analyze this force at the time of construction of dam. When there is no drainage gallery available or not provided in the gravity dam, so in that case the uplift pressure diagram is shown by the full uplift drainage, which is this. And in case when the drainage is available in the gravity dam, the actual path is shown in the dotted lines, as you can see. Uplift pressure at the below of drainage gallery is calculated by the given formula, which is shown here. Now let's talk about sediment forces. Sediment force is also known as silt pressure, and it is shown in the figure here. As you can see in the figure, it is shown here by the notation Fs, and it is calculated by the formula which is shown here. Here gamma S is submerged specific weight of soil, Ka is active earth pressure coefficient according to the Rankine's theory, which is formulated here. Now let's talk about ice load. Ice load is dependent on ice thickness, temperature rising gradient or temperature falling gradient. So we can make the graph between ice thickness and ice pressure. As you can see here, when the ice thickness increases, ice pressure also increases on the dam. Earthquake force. Earthquake force is calculated by using this formula, where K is earthquake coefficient. Dynamic force in the reservoir induced by earthquake is calculated by using these formulas. Dynamic force acting on spillways also calculated by using the given formula shown here and obtained by using momentum equation. Wave force and temperature force are also acted on dam.